Hello and welcome to another Programming Basics video. In this one we will take a look at a string code reading task including a couple of regular methods that we have created. And to read this task we will go simply step by step and take a look at each one of these elements. So at first we create simply one string variable, and after that we are printing out a simple substring with this execution. So to understand what this is, we have to go step by step. So let's take this string task, and what we do here is we are splitting it into an array of substrings and using the word go as the separator between elements. So this will be an array, and we are looking where are the substring go, and we're using it as a separator. So here we have one and here we have one. No more goes left, and now we have an array of three elements. This is the first one, this is the second, and this is the third one. So we're getting an array of three elements, and once we get the length of that, and the length of array is how many elements we have in the array, so the result of that will be 3. So when we are printing out, we are having this 1, and the result is 3. So we took the task variable, split it into parts, and using the go as a splitter, and we are taking length of that resulting array, which is 3. Okay, let's move on. Here we have a jungle variable, which is created with 3 sub-elements. We are taking substring of the task, then another substring, and replacing something with something. But let's go step by step again. Take this initial string, the task, which we are calling the substring to, and now we are taking the substring from 5th to 7th element. And to know exactly which ones are these, we have to count each element one by one. So this is the 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and the lowercase d becomes the 5th element. So we cut before that element, and so 5th, 6th, and 7th, lowercase e becomes the 7th element. So we cut again before that. So the result is, what we cut in the middle is lowercase dr. Lowercase dr is the result of this substring. So we are saving that as a dr. Now we have to look at task substring from 1st to 3rd. So this is 0. This is 1st element. We cut one before that. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Lowercase e becomes the 3rd. We cut before that. And the substring of this becomes lowercase ak. So we add that one to the result because we are adding them together. Now we have the 3rd one, from the 0th till the 1st. So we cut before the 0th element, we cut before the 1st, and we get a substring of 1 symbol, and from that, so the result of this thing would be just a string with 1 symbol in it, and now we're replacing all the uppercase m's with lowercase o's, and this becomes simply a lowercase o. And we add that one to the string that we created before. So the result of this and the value of jungle becomes Draco. Once we print it out, simply Draco like this. Draco. Okay, so this is the second one. Let's move on. Here we create a simple integer value of 12 variable, and on the next line we are calling a method, and we are giving this integer value as a parameter to that method. And in this whole project, we can see we have our main method, where the program starts, and we have created 2 additional methods, one of which is getThat, that's the name of the method, and another one is getIt. As we are calling the getThat method, we only have to take a look at that one. So the value of 12 was the parameter, and this is the value that this parameter is going to accept in this method. So the value of thing becomes 12. Here we simply have to print out the substring with that value of thing that we just passed. So get that with 12. In this line 29, we are simply adding together an integer, a substring, an integer, substring, and integer. And once we add all that together, we are simply getting a full string. So as the value of thing is 12, we will have 6, then space, then thing minus 2 will be 10, then the space, then simply value of thing is 12. So thing divided by 2, thing minus 2, and thing at the end, and simply added together with spaces in the middle. So the value of yes becomes this variable, this string. And on the next line, we are returning the value of yes and added a little bit of extra substring. So the returned value will be that value of yes, and then the space, and a little bit of extra substring. So this one is added to the initial one. Now we know what is going to be returned from that method, so we take this substring, take this result, and go back to the place where it was called. So this is the place where we called the method. So now the result of this whole method is the value that was returned. So this substring. And this substring becomes the value of clap, which takes the result of the method. So on the next line, we can simply print it out with the 3 and that substring. Okay, so this is one part. On the next line, we are using that clap variable and splitting it by using space as a separator. Again, we take this clap variable, we have it like this, and now we are using spaces as the separators. So this space becomes a separator, this one, and also this one. Now we have created an array of string elements, so really it should look like this, because these are not actually numbers, these are texts containing numbers. So we have 4 elements in the array. On the next line, we are parsing a string to an integer, to an actual number, from this element of the array. And a parts array's first element is not 6, it's 10, just like any other array. 6 is the 0th, first, second, and third. So we're parsing this text to an actual number. Sorry, not this one, obviously. The first one is 10. So we are parsing that to a real 10. And then in here we are parsing the parts array's second variable, second parameter element, which is 12, right? Because 0th, first, and 12 and second. So we parse this text 12 to an actual number 12, and that, as in this line we are adding them together, then we are simply adding these values mathematically together, because now they are parsed to actual integers. And now we add them together, and the value of the big one becomes 22. And on the next line, when we print it out, it becomes 17 space 22. So this is the result of line 15. Okay, next line. A pretty long one, but methods are chained, so we can go simply step by step. Again, we take the task variable and we split it into an array by using E as a separator. So this one becomes a separator, this one here, here, and another one here. So a lot of elements. So actually the array will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7 elements. So the length of this array will be 7. But we don't need the whole array, we are simply taking the second element of the array. So this is an array, as we split something into an array, and from that we're taking the second element. So this is 0th, first, and this is the second element. So we actually don't need anything else. So this is the second element. Now we are trimming it, which means we are removing spaces from the ends, not from all the string, but only from the ends. As we didn't have any spaces at the ends, the trim method doesn't change anything. And now we are simply replacing all the lowercase a's with empty strings, which means it's replaced with nothing. So we simply remove all the a's, and this is the result. So we have to print out this one. Well, not yet. This is the value of tricky. And now on the next line, when we print it out, it becomes -3 and this substring. So that's the result. Now let's move on to the next one. We are having a string, then some chained value, then some string, and another thing. So let's go step by step. This one is obvious. Let's take this one. What is that? Again, we have to take the task. We are splitting it into an array by using S as a separator. So again, this one, this one, and this one. So we're getting another big array, but now we are taking only the third element. So 0th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd element. This is the third element. Let's remove everything else. This is the third element, and in this one we have to count the place where this element exists. So the index of this substring, so the lowercase o. So it's this one. So on the 0th place we have the space. This is the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place. So the first lowercase o that we find is in the place number 4. So let's save that one. This is a 4. And now we have to take a look at this one. Again, let's take the task substring, task string. And now we split it by the word goal. So this one becomes a separator, and this one becomes a separator. So we have an array of 3 elements, 0th, 1st, and 2nd. Now we're taking the first element of this string, so it's this one. Now again, we can remove everything unnecessary. Now we have this first element of the array, and now we have to find in which position we have this substring. As we don't have that substring inside this the initial string, we are simply returning -1, because if the method cannot find an index, it returns always -1. So the second is -1, and once we print it all together, it becomes, last one is 4, the first one, and -1 as the value of the second chained method. So this is this one. Now the basic part is done. Now we are, not the basic, but the first part is done. We are moving on to the for loop. At first, simply creating a variable a. At the beginning of the loop, we have left the first part empty, which means nothing happens there. The next one, we are checking the condition of the array. If this is true, we are entering the array. As the value of a is less than 10, then everything's fine. We are starting with the first iteration. So if the value of a is 2, then if we try to divide 2 by 4, we cannot divide, so the remainder after division is 2. So this statement becomes true. 2 divided by 4, the remainder is true. It is 2. So this if gets executed, so we have to print out this line. So what happens on this line? Here again, a simple substring method from this symbol till this symbol. As the value of a is 2, so we are taking from the second until the 5th element. Again, we are taking a look at the task string. Let's take that one. And again, we have to count from the second till the 5th. So 0, 1, 2. The lowercase k is the second element we cut before that. 2, 3, 4, 5. The lowercase d is the 5th element we cut before that. So the value of this substring is ke and a space. So what we will be printing out is 5 space ke and space. So this is the result of this one. So let's put it somewhere on the top, or maybe at the bottom. This is one printout. As we executed the if branch, the else doesn't get executed. We move on to the next iteration. But at first we are adding 2 to the value of a. So now a becomes 4. It's still less than 10, so we are entering the array again, entering the loop again, sorry. So now value of a divided by 4 doesn't have a remainder of 2, so we are entering the else branch. So in here we'll be printing out 5.1 and then substring of this. As the value of a is 4, so we will take substring of 3 till the 6th element. Again, let's count. 0, 1, 2, 3, so this is lowercase e, cut before that. 3, 4, 5, 6. Lowercase r is the 6th element, so we cut before that. We get e space and D. So we're printing E space and D. Okay, let's move on. As the iteration is done, we move on to the next one. A plus equals 2, so we are adding another 2 to the value of A, and we do everything again. Now 6 divided by 4 has a remainder of 2, so we are again entering the if branch. So we will be printing out 5 and substring from A till the A plus 3 element. So from the 6th till the 9th element. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We cut before lowercase r. 7. Now 8 and 9 we cut before that. So lowercase m is the 9th element. We cut before that. So the result is REA. So the value of this one is REA. So we've just printed out. Again, if branch was executed, so else is ignored. We again add 2 to the A. Now this becomes 8. And again, move on into another iteration. 8 divided by 4 doesn't have a remainder of 2. The remainder would be 0, so the else branch is executed. Again, we will print out 5.1. And substring from the 7th till the 10th element. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, lowercase e. Cut before that, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th is the lowercase s, so we cut before that. EAM is the substring of this call. So we print out EAM. Okay, the iteration is done, so we again add 2 to the A. The value of A becomes 10. Now in this situation, this is not longer true. So A is not less than 10. So the for loop is done, and as the main method has ended, the whole program has done its job. So this was the last printout of the program. Yes, we still have these couple of methods, but as they are not called anymore at any situation, we can simply ignore them because nothing needs to be done with that. The only time we needed to use one of these methods was in here because we were calling that and letting the method work. As the method getIt is never called, it's never executed, and we can completely ignore that. So if you followed along, you saw all the printouts, all the steps, how you should take a look at some of these code reading tasks. Thank you for watching and see you next time.